always had a great awareness as to what was most important to him. And obviously, it's always important for players to maximize cash. I mean, because we know that NFL is a not-for-long league. We understand that. But he's always been a guy who's been about chasing greatness. And it's very rare that you find the guy who can be happy with the kind of money that he's making, which he's making a boatload of money, and at the same time still be aware enough to the point where he knows, look, I can't do this all by myself, so I'm going to take a little bit less. I'm not going to complain about it, and I am going to have enough people around me so where now I'm being considered one of the great teammates and great players and great winners of all time. There's really been only one other guy who's been able to do that, at the very highest level, and we all know that's Tom Brady. It's interesting hearing Patrick talk because Patrick knows, Brett Veach knows, ownership in Kansas City knows, Andy Reid knows that, as Diana alluded to, they couldn't really afford him if he wanted to say, hey, look, this is what I'm worth.
So it's kind of teetering around that line. I've made enough money where I'll be set for the rest of my life.
All right, let's bring in NFL insider Diana Russini and, of course, analyst Louis Riddick. Guys, in the first place, Mahomes is like doing the perfect little PR speech right there. On the one hand, I'm not going to rake him over the coals. On the other hand, I got to worry about the quarterback market. I can't do anything to,
But when has Patrick ever said anything that we're talking about on the show? Going, how could he say?
He's the guy.
He's a team player, right?
Yeah.
And the communication that he has with this Chiefs front office, with the head coach, it's always very healthy, right? And he alluded to that. He said we communicate. They're in touch. They want to get a deal done. They know that. They know he deserves to make more money. And ownership even said they may never be able to pay him enough money for what he's worth, something Louis Riddick called years ago, right? And they're aware of it because he's been able to have so much success, and he will continue to do that. Now, the question is, are they going to be able to get this done relatively soon, right? And the thought is maybe they'll be able to get this done by the start of the season.
Meantime, Louis,
your brain. You can't weightlift to kind of prevent concussions. That's the only thing that really stinks about this game. And I'm just hoping that part of it he's able to kind of just mitigate by way of getting the ball out quick. His offensive line plays well. They run the football. Because if he stays healthy, they're winning the East, man. I'm just telling you. They're winning the East.
I'm with you. He's got to dance between those raindrops, though. Speaking of the East, let's look around the AFC East. Bills have to overcome playoff disappointment after they were favored to win last year's Super Bowl, but lost to the Bengals in a snowy divisional round. Man, everyone's waiting on Josh Allen. Joe Burrow just lives in the championship game. When healthy, the Dolphins had one of the most electrifying offenses in the NFL this offseason. They bolstered their defense, including trading for star corner Jalen Ramsey, not to mention pretty good D coordinator Aaron Rodgers and friends. Moving to New York has Jets fans who saw a team once in playoff position end on a 6-game losing streak. Anyway, those fans are thinking Super Bowl now. And the Patriots, who missed the playoffs for the second time in 3 seasons, reunited with old offensive coordinator Bill O'Brien to see if Mac Jones has not yet hit his ceiling. Time for another edition of My Word Against Yours, the debate topic. Who wins the AFC this season, Diana?
Slow Bills. I think this is the time of year where we...
But at some point in time, it'll be interesting to see how when he gets further along in his career or when this contract is done, just how much he did bump up his salary to get it to the point where people understand that, hey, look, I'm a nice guy. I want to win championships. I want to take care of my boys. But I'm also the baddest cat in the NFL, maybe one of the baddest they've ever seen. And you better pay me accordingly and make sure everyone else knows it. It'll be interesting to see how they are able to kind of make all of that work.
I wonder if Brady's standard of 7 Super Bowls is so ridiculous that, once upon a time, Bill Russell had 11. No one was ever expected to match that. It was if Jordan could get to 6, he's the greatest. Is it now reset where if Patrick Mahomes could get to 4, right? If he could match Joe Montana the way Jordan matched Kareem, good enough, right? Maybe it has to be reset after Brady. There's a very good chance Mahomes does get to 4. This just inflated. Check out the difference in Tua Tagovailoa's build, his physique, from OTAs in 2022 to OTAs this season. Louis, your thoughts on a bulked-up Tua?
Hey, look, whatever, Tua's continuing to mature. Remember, he's still a young guy by NFL standards, and I like the fact that he's putting on muscle.
Their roster, and we forget the consistency that they've displayed. And look, we know that they've struggled in the playoffs. We saw what they went through last year, and I think that's one of those topics here with the Damar Hamlin situation that we look back on now and go, all right, this makes sense. They definitely had a difficult season that was weighing on them. It was a big, big challenge. I think this is going to be a whole new year for the Buffalo Bills after last year. I think there's been a lot of disappointment, a lot of frustration, and they spent the offseason thinking about it and making some changes already.
What do you think, Lewis?
Well, look, I'm one of those people who thinks the window is still open for Buffalo. Obviously, the Jets are going to make their run. You just hope they're able to come out of the gate strong, but I still think this is Miami's year. And I know people are going to say, Tua's not going to play 13 games. He can't play 12 games. Look, we don't know. Hopefully he can get 16 in, and he can be healthy during the playoffs. Because if he does, off of that offensive line, we know
the face of the NFL's concussion situation, but he's doing everything.
Because the Bills have the best shot, I think, given everything.
Yeah.
But, Lewis, I'm with you if the Dolphins stay healthy. They can win the Super Bowl if they stay healthy.
None of us picked the Jets, by the way. No.
I know. But the Jets might. Look, the Jets can win double digits easily. Coming up, that division's rough. Coming up, the Heat let the Celtics get one. This is what Marcus Smart warned them about. Will they regret it?
they've got size. And this is a football team that tasted some success last year. They believe in what Coach McDaniel's doing down there. They believe that on offense they're never out of it because they can strike you in a hurry. And so, look, I just think as long, and I know it's a big bet, and it's a bet I'm willing to make. If this quarterback can stay healthy, man, and he can be ready when playoff time comes around, they're winning it. They're winning it.
It's nuts to think that someone's got to come in third and fourth in this division, like the Jets with everything they just did, and the Patriots, who could easily have the best defense in football this year, right? That could happen, and they could wind up in fourth in the division. I got to say, Lewis, I'm with you all the way on your analysis, but Diana, I agree with you because as much as I'm hoping that Tua can stay healthy, when they made the decision to let him play 4 days after he clearly suffered a neurological event, I've watched the fight game long enough, guys, to see where a guy can get rewired if he gets back in there too quick. And I hope I'm wrong. I'm not trying this is in other areas of your